Warning: the gameplay in this stream is being performed by amateurs and under the moderation of amateurs. While Karlton is an EA partner and this is an EA-sponsored stream, Karlton and the moderators must insist that no one attempt to recreate or reenact any gameplay performed on this stream. What is up? How we doing? How was everybody's Sunday? What is up, Death Clock? What do we have here? Doug Manley, 1968, subbed up. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate you. Straws in the chat for Doug. Ryan, in with the biddies. Thank you, Ryan. Straws in the chat for Ryan. Straws in the chat for Doug. I think that's Doug's first sub up. Big time straws, Doug. Welcome to the stream, or at least welcome to the subgroup. We gotta get a name. Squatch in with the bits. Thank you, Squatch. Straws in the chat for Squatch. Gotta get a name. Gotta get a name for the subgroup. Appreciate y'all. Hope everybody's weekend was fantastic. We are continuing to run a health ward over here in the Karlton household. What's up, Deuce? Every day someone is getting sick or getting hurt. More style than me? I mean, that may be true, Hill City. Like I am pretty basic when it comes to my style. That notwithstanding, I suppose if he is talking about magnitude and not direction, then he would be correct. Because he has much more style than me. It is just all really awful style. XFL watch party. I have not watched a single down of XFL football. That's just the way the schedule sort of shifted and panned out for me. That notwithstanding, it looks like the games have been really close. Like all the stuff that like St. Louis is doing is pretty cool. Like the fact that a game isn't quite over, even though there's like 2 minutes left and you're down by like 12 points, is pretty cool. How about them Hoosiers sweeping the in-state rival? I can't say it, but go Hoosiers. I can't say the rest of how we feel about Purdue. Did that Jake Paul fight happen? He was fighting, what's his name? His brother, right? Fury's brother, right? Did he lose? Oh, it's tonight. Did he knock him out? Or did he win? Did it go to the judges? Because like I feel like if it goes to the judges at the very least, decision, like was it the right decision? It was a split decision. I don't know, Trey. Type in exclamation EOS. Type in exclamation EOS. Trey, that'll tell you whether or not you are qualified. Fury beat him for sure. Oh, there you go. That answers that. Although at least you gotta respect the guy for trying, right? I believe new stream has already been done. Dustin took care of that a little while ago. I think, Dustin, you can advise. Hey, you too, Jared. I was so grumpy. I dropped one. I got the stumble animation right as it was coming across, and it just went right to the linebacker. Made a side bet. Oh, so he did mattress Mac it or whatever he did. That's what Mattress Mac does down in Houston. So he runs a promotion. It's smart. He runs a promotion on his mattresses that, like, anybody that buys a mattress, like on a certain day or in a certain window, he will give a refund to if the Astros win the World Series. And so then what he does is he determines how much money he would need to cover giving away all those mattresses for free. And then he looks at the odds and then he bets enough money, which is a fractional amount, so that the payout would be enough to cover that. So what he ends up doing is basically just insuring himself legally through betting. And so he'll just end up paying a small amount for all the increased business that he gets from it. Mattress Mac, that's a smart dude. It's a smart dude. What do we have? Dick is in 10 months. Thank you, Dick. Straws in the chat. Appreciate you, brother. It's almost been a year. Who would have thought? Who would have thought we'd have Dick hanging out in streams? Publicity profits. Brilliant. Ryan Decado gifts one out to Jamomo, I think. Hype train is close. Thank you, Ryan. Straws in the chat for Ryan. Oh, what do we need to do? We've got some business to handle. Some business to take care of. We're gonna hit 10K. We're not gonna hit 10K or the 10K Madden Cash. We're not gonna hit it before Thursday's stream though, because the field pass ends in what, 3 days? 2.5 days? Thanks, Henry. I appreciate the conversation. I mean, we're still having fun. Decado. Yeah, what'd I say? I said Decado, right? It's poor Logix. I feel bad for Logix. Logix always stumbles over these names. Litany gifts one out. Thank you, Litany. Straws in the chat. Hype train is going. Wasn't Logix like Ryan, like Decant? Deca. He kept stumbling over, right? Like Deca 2. Decado. Gotcha. No, and I always ask people too, if I say your name wrong or if I mispronounce it, to let me know. Because the very least you can do is, you know, get people's names right. Although every once in a while, Cato, Ryan Decado. Oh, there we go. Now I got it. This stuff doesn't translate through text. Cato. Ryan Decado. Yes? Yes. I promise you I will forget it when you sub up again, but keep reminding me. I will eventually get it. Some of this stuff, who was it? We had someone like 2 years ago trying to explain to me their username, and I couldn't get it for the life of me. I think someone finally had to like record it and then send it to me as like an audio clip on like Telegram for me to be able to get it. No, that doesn't it. That's not it, Litany. Because I was saying Decado. It wasn't the D. It was the A. I was saying Ado, and it's Ado. Qualification for tourney redemption is empty. Yes, and it will remain empty. So a couple people have asked about that. So on tournament days, which will be Thursday, a Death Clock in with the biddies. Thank you, Death Clock. And I don't know if I caught it. Litany gifted out Boom 1 minute ago too. And then I think I got Ryan's as well. So straws in the chat for Death Clock, straws in the chat for Litany, and straws in the chat for Ryan. So our NFL Pass tournament is this coming Thursday, right? Like 4 days away from now. And we have a channel point redemption if you have not qualified yet, where you can redeem your channel points to get qualified for that. Jiggly asked or pointed out, hey, that's not active. And that's intentional, because we will qualify The top 2 unqualified will qualify for marbles. There's still quite a few chances left to get qualified. I don't want people to burn out channel points if they end up qualifying. So next stream, we will have a specific window in which you can redeem your channel points to get qualified. I don't want people, I can't refund them, so I don't want people burning them early. So tonight, mods, tonight, because it is the last full night before we have our tournament, we are going to double our qualifiers. Jimmy Bits, living up to the name. Stars in the chat, Jimmy Bits, I appreciate you. 500 biddies. Oh, I am clipping. Whoa, let me turn this down. If my audio starts to get bad, like, tell me. 'Cause I don't want it to be bad. Yeah, that thing was clipping hard. We don't want that. All right, I think we're good now. So mods, this is what we're gonna do. Tonight on marbles, instead of top 2, we're gonna qualify top 3 and the last finisher. Tonight on our tournament, we're gonna qualify the top 4 unqualified. Okay, so a great chance for everybody to get qualified tonight. Why is that still up? There we go. All right, mic good? Mic good? Oh, you don't want to be last. You don't want to be last. You want to be first. Ryan with the biddies. Thank you, Ryan. Stars in the chat, Ryan. Lotus went to 8. That's awesome. Logix went to what, like 10? I think Logix went to 10. We had a good one. We had a good one Thursday too. Forget where it went to. It used to stop at 5. Then they opened it up. Jake in with the biddies. Thank you, Jake. Stars in the chat. Yeah, poor Logix. I love Logix, man. I love Logix. It's funny too because like we have like it's a really good relationship, but it's kind of weird because like he was doing his thing before I did. Like he had his YouTube channel and then he was streaming. And like he and Noob are both like a lot younger than me, but the two of them were streaming before I started streaming. I was like the third one to come in. And then, so like as I'm gearing up, like I'm asking him like a bunch of questions. Hey, Horse Money and Squatch, both in with the bit. Squatch in with 500, Straws in the chat, and Horse Money in for 21. Appreciate both of you. And so, here I am, Girl Dad, in with the 99 P-bits. That ain't no problem. Thank you, Girl Dad. Appreciate you. Straws in the chat. And so, like, I'm starting out. And here I am, this old dude, asking the young guys a bunch of questions, bunch of stuff about how Twitch works and everything else. Was asking, like, Noob questions and Logix questions. And then, like, Logix goes and like Logix gets like out of school and he's starting the job market, and like at this point like I'm like a super old dude, and so you know he's coming to me and like asking like real life important questions, and so like you know he and I have talked through some of that stuff, so I got all the respect in the world for that dude. Met Mama Logix. It was funny. Like I think I'm probably closer to Mama Logix's age than I am Logix's age. And so I was hanging out with Logix and Mama Logix when they were in New York City. Lovely woman, beautiful woman. So it's odd, like it's peers, but like on the other hand, like you know you have just all the respect in the world for the guy, and he's just grinding his butt off trying to get stuff taken care of. And trying to come up a little bit in this world, and you want nothing but the best for him at all. So you don't want to say like little brother, because that's sort of like more, that's almost condescending, and that's not what it is. But like I've been through a lot of that stuff, and I can give some advice on some things. So no, he and I think have a really good relationship. You can learn something from everything. Horse Money in with the bits. Thank you, Horse Money. Stars in the chat. No, and I mean it's not, you know. Younger folks always have a little bit they can learn, right? You young bucks out there. No, it's crazy. Like Logix and I have a really good relationship, I think. And he'll hit me up whenever he's stateside. And I'm trying to think, like GC program wise too, you make like a bunch of really good friends there too. Like Stonewall and I have gotten to know each other now since like season 3. And like he and I are roughly the same age. And so, we have some common experiences too. It's crazy playing this game. Horse Money in with the bits. Thank you, Horse Money. It's crazy. Straws in the chat. It's crazy sort of the people that you meet. And it goes beyond that too, right? Like leagues and other people that you come and you interact with and you get to know. It's crazy. Like a heavily monetized finger football game can still create some really cool relationships. Why? No, see, everybody asks that. That's why I bring the can. That's why I bring the can. Premium coffee drink. Since this is an EA sponsored stream, there is no alcohol consumption at all allowed on the stream. Y'all like Brooklyn Nets? I'm a Pacers guy. I just moved out here this past summer, so all the Hoosier teams for me. Pacers, Colts, IU, baby. Tried Nitro once. It's a wonderful drink. Thank you, Squatch. I appreciate it. I kind of regret we didn't get a chance to have our off the record talk when I was doing the unsponsored Sundays. That would have been a fun conversation, but it's not one that we can or should have here. No, it's not. I mean, it's coffee, but it's a cold brew coffee, right? But it's got the nitro in it. And so what that does is it's kind of like carbonation. The way I try and describe it is Horse Money in with the bits. Thank you, Horse Money. Straws in the chat. Easy, Squatch. I don't think we can let that one through. The best way I can describe it is, imagine it's carbonated, but like the bubbles are like much smaller. And so instead of like being like tingly and everything else, Z-Pin, is that right? Z-Pin in with the sub, gifts one out to Big Lou. Thank you, Z-Pin. Straws in the chat. Except instead of being carbonated, what it does is it just makes it like almost kind of like a mini foam, so it tastes like a little bit like thicker and a little bit richer, but without like adding like a bunch of extra stuff to it. It's like that was going to be the exact example de-stuffing that I was going to use, but couldn't, given the prohibition on talking about that stuff. Like, I can't talk about that stuff. Yes, but that would have been the reference off the record that I would have made. It's like $3.50 or $4 a can. Go Hogs! But it's no different. It's no different than going to a Starbucks and getting a drink there. Turn the mic down just a fuzz more and the music down just a little bit more to balance it out. No, that's a perfect example. You can't gift him one, Ryan, because he already is subbed. So when he types, you see the little 6 next to him. That means he has the 6-month sub badge. So you can't gift a sub to somebody that already has one. You have to wait till it expires. Oh, I love it, de-stuffing. Like I've even looked. You can even get like nitro kits for the house, right? You can put the cold brew in, and then you get like the little nitro cartridges, and you can like actually make the nitro stuff in your house. Like I've looked into doing that. Hey, no begging, RS. Nobody likes a beggar. No begging. Don't do that. We're better than that. We're better than that. What's up? Is it TLBS? Or is it Tlibs? You love your French press at work. I don't know. French presses are messy. Like, it makes a good brew, but they're messy. What's up, Lost Soul? Squatch bringing the heat. Squatch bringing the heat. Like 2 in the morning. No, I love the ones at Starbucks too. Like, I'll get those, especially in summertime. And they can only make them. They don't make a venti. You can't get a venti of the nitro cold brew. They only do a tall and a grande because something about the way the cup sizes are and everything else. All right. So yeah, a little bit of cream and you're good to go. Thickens it up perfect. Let's see. Polamalu. Oh yeah, I got that. I don't know about full Metro. I definitely have not gone full New England. Like, I think Dunkin' Donut coffee is disgusting. And I say that as someone that lives in a smaller town that has multiple Dunkin' Donuts. What am I drinking tonight? Same thing I drink every night early on. Premium coffee drink. It's good stuff. Not sponsored by Starbucks. Can't discuss cup sizes. Yeah, I don't know. We need to head over to the game in a minute, but that brings up a good point, Gambler. Do you want to have the joke of the night? You want to have the joke of the night? All right. Here's the joke of the night. Why did Ariel, the Little Mermaid, wear seashells? Because she couldn't fit into the D shells. Game time, let's go. Alrighty. Few reminders we want to get out before we get started. First and foremost, as you can see on the crawler on the top, Karlton's Maddening is hiring for Madden Mobile Season 10. We are hoping to put all of the fun stuff up a notch next season. Improved graphics, improved transition. We are looking to just do a full workover as we try to do every year. Especially with me now being in the office much more, it's that much more difficult for me to find time to get it put together. So to the extent you are or know someone who is good at graphics, motion graphics, web design, particularly JavaScript, or something of the like, motion web design, hit me up, let me know. I'm always looking for people that are willing to chip in a little bit, and we'll throw some cash your way too, just to help offsite it. Why did the bot put your overall estimate so high? Fantastic question, Ryan. So what the bot does is it takes your offense and your defense, which is only 26 players, and it determines what your total overall would be if you extrapolate that out to a full 30-person squad. So I'm assuming you, like most of us, have a special team that is much smaller in overall than your offense and defense. And so what we actually do is we use your offense and defense to sort of create a fake overall, because special teams don't really matter that much. And so to us, it gives you a much truer representation of what your overall is by using a value that is calculated off of just your offense and defense. And so that's why that number is going to be much higher. That's why that number is going to be much higher. And that is not said with judgment, because there we are as well. So, this is the administrative hour. This is the administrative hour. Yours is high? Why is it so high? Like, it ends up working out for you. So cool. In this regard, it ends up working out for you, like with our tourney. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm the exact same way, Ryan. I am the exact same way. I have decided to forego the special teams boost. I have decided to forego the special teams boost at the moment, but I want to do this. All right, so if we can get somebody to take a note, my Polamalu is 191 overall. Can we write that down, please? Go Hogs. Yes, we did new stream. Or at least at the very least mods, if we can take this bit of information down. We new streamed. Now, the reason I wanted to do that is because, as I'm sure you are aware, we have been continuing to grind. We have pulled 2 Kurt Warners, which we cannot use, and one of the Joneses we have been keeping up with. But regardless, we can now grab another Polamalu, and we are going to foil him. We still have to foil Okereke, but that's okay. We still have 2 or 3 days left to do it. So the reason I want to do this is I want to see where this goes up to, because I want to see what my overall jump is going to be for Okereke. So then I can sort of figure out what I need to do in order to get that all the way up, to make sure we hit what we need to get the 10K, which was the ultimate point of what we were doing, right? All right, Polamalu, toss it in, make sure it's level 5, success, boom. I know, bud, we're sneaking up on it. We're sneaking up on it. All right, continue. So where did it end up? Where did it end up? Went from 191 to 204. So I went plus 13, right? You're 1 epic from foiling Bobby. I'm not quite. I'm a little further away. We'll bridge it. We'll bridge it when it gets to it. So I got, what, plus 13? What do I need? Do I need 3 or... I need 3 of them. But we are sneaking up on these. There's 1. Still don't say his name. Whose name? Okereke or Polamalu? You've never once made the 10K gate? I've made it the past few seasons, but man, it has been a grind to get there. All right. So right now I am at 5693. At 5693, another 13 for Okereke puts me at 5706, right? 5706, and I need to get what do I need to get to? 5766. So I need to get another 60 out of this, right? So if I go to my team's special team, they're all at level 0 except for Avery Williams, so it's 145. So 10% of 145 would be 14, 28, 56. So I can get here with 10%, right? I can get here. I can get there. And when I get Okereke, I can get there with 10% on that one. Maybe I may have to train one of them to get there. Right? So let's do that. Let's do weight room. 10%. And then the 13 from Okereke puts me spot on. So we should be good. Yeah, 10%. 10% is a cheap investment. 10% is a really cheap investment. Hey, so question. Is everybody paying attention here to make sure they get all their players? Don't forget. Man, that would have been helpful. Like, a week ago. That would have been so helpful a week ago. I can't use it anymore. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go like full tinfoil hat, okay? I'm going to go full tinfoil hat. This is not hyperbole. This is not an exaggeration, okay? 3 or 4 field passes in a row. In the last 48 hours, I have pulled an epic player from something. From like one of these packs, from something. I have pulled an epic player 3 or 4 field passes in a row. And it always happens after I have finished getting all of the players I need. It always happens after I finish getting all the players I need, and I can't use it. Like, I don't want to go full tinfoil hat, but I gotta tell you, like, what is it? 1's a coincidence, 2's a trend. Can you log or will it be reset? What do you mean, Star? Has it been an absolute bust for you? I mean, I've done all right. I really sort of stretched out. Like, I went in, but it box checked a lot of needs for me. And so, the Okereke, I probably didn't have to do. But everyone's running 3-4s right now, and that just becomes so difficult to not just pass, but to run against too. Just save them, yeah, I mean, but it's the S7 value for that is substantially less than the S6 value, right? And like, it's not exactly like I'm hurting for those either, right? Like, if I just go and I filter to rarity to epic, like, you see exactly what I'm talking about here, right? Like, AKA promo, I hit 1. Hassan, Orlando, and I've traded a bunch in too along the way. The only player you got from the promo is the punter? Really? How? That's a terrible beat. I mean, what did I pick up from this promo? I picked up DK. That was a win for me. I picked up Polamalu. Picked up Okereke, who I still have to foil, by the way. How top teams almost never play a match. I've shared my perspective on that Hill City. I've shared my perspective. I think getting to the top should be a grind. What I think should happen is every match, every time it goes through, I think first place should play second place, unless they've already played in that weekly season. If they have, they should play third place, unless they've played, and they should keep going on down. And then second place should do the same, and third place should do the same, and fourth place should do the same. It feels like the top and the bottom match a lot, and then like the middle kind of matches a lot. That's how I would fix it. Okereke. It's not Okereke though, Zai. It's not Okereke. So when he was in college, and even when he got drafted, they had the pronunciation as Okereke. And then going into his third season, because he's a Colts player, so I actually know this very well, he issued through the Colts a correction on the pronunciation and indicated that his preferred pronunciation of it, the traditional pronunciation on it, was Okereke. And so the pronunciation of it changed going into season 3. First 2 seasons it was Okereke, and then the pronunciation changed. Okariki. Okariki. Oh no, I'm sorry, Okarike. Yeah, Okarike. It was Okariki, and then changed it to Okarike. Yeah, that's the request. It changed, and so it's kind of tough for me too, because like you spent 2 seasons calling him Bobby Okariki, and then change. So I probably will inadvertently sort of slide back every once in a while. But Okarike is his requested pronunciation. Okay. Okara Palamalu. You pulled 2 Jarrett from random iconic. You like to feel like without foiling because when you can because they would go to Marvel. See, that's what I did, Ange. I got granted. I got lucky. Oh, by the way. So it kind of got accelerated a little bit. It's been on my to-do list. I had started doing it a couple years ago, and then I got away from it. I'll probably get away from it again. But I'd had some people reach out, asking about this. They like heard about the stream and asking because I couldn't find it on YouTube. So Twitch has a 24-hour what's the word I want to use? Embargo on streams, in which case they retain exclusivity to that. But after that, I own the Twitch stream, and so I can do with it what I want. So I've had people in the past had requested, and I meant to start doing it, so I just sort of accelerated taking the streams and putting them on YouTube. And so the streams are going on YouTube. I'm not going to be a content guy. I'm not trying to create stuff. I'm not trying to like get trips to the Pro Bowl and all that stuff. So it's not going to be like a content thing, but I am going to start putting just the first administrative hour up on YouTube. Try to after every stream, 24 hours later. So if you are on there, find the channel, give it a follow. I don't know, Doggy Style, have you qualified? If you think you qualified, hit up one of the mods. So if you watch the stream from Thursday, we had one random iconic that we needed left to finish out LT, and so we kept doing the random sets, and I think I pulled an Okarike and I pulled a Palamalu from there as well, and so I kept pulling like the ones that I actually needed. So I got really sort of lucky in that regard, is that I ended up getting the cards that I pull a Metcalf too. I think I got the cards that I needed through the random one as opposed to the select one. And then finally we ended up landing on like the kick returner, and so I tossed him in there. Level up those I think the marbles are leveled, right? They're all level 5. But like I'll be there as soon as I grab Okarike. It ends what? Not tomorrow morning, but the day after, right? Yeah. And we're getting what? An epic a day-ish? An epic-ish a day? Get them to 8. Oof. Oof. Lamar Ride or Die. It's almost 3 years in a row, right? Because not last season, but the season before was when they had like the Lamar that kept going. I think, right? Wasn't that? Yeah, it's really expensive. It is really expensive, and I don't know if I've got the resources for that. Master Series, I love that. Never reads. It's so far out, and like two field passes ago, like I was close when it dropped, and like this field pass, like I'm not even close to it. Like it was a grind to get there. There's that from doing the 3X. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the X. Put that one there. We're probably pretty close to token exchange. Get this. Bet we're close. I hear the kids upstairs. The baby who should be asleep. Do I need to get that one? Let's do it. We can get there with this one. We can get there with this one. Let me turn it off real quick. See if we can continue to ride the good luck. All right. Let me buy this excellent special. I just have to make sure that I'm not like showing the login because it's got my username on or my email on it. It's gonna be so ridiculous. It's gotta be 6K, right? Come on, give me something. It's gotta be like 6K. Like there's no way, Moo. Like 6,100, something crazy. Yeah, I mean it's kind of, I guess it is what it is in that regard, Litany, right? Like it is what it is. But like the thing that bothers me about it is that like in terms of like resources and spin and everything else, this is the thing that I don't understand. In terms of that, like my approach has remained completely the same. And despite that, another Jones. Each field pass, I feel like I'm further and further away from it. And so that's what I'm struggling with reconciling, right? Like I'm struggling with trying to reconcile that. Is that I'm still doing the exact same thing, spending all my stamina, grinding everything out. Spending is still the same. And it feels like I'm getting further and further away. And I've tried to reconcile it. I've tried to look into the numbers. I'm not exactly sure where it is, where the difference is. Things are getting bigger. And so, like, if you're not having like a full roster turnover over the course of them, I think this is where it is. I think this is where it is. So each month, the increase in overall in the programs goes up by more. I mean, so like if it goes from like +6 1 month, then it goes like +8, +10, +12, like that's increasing more. And so I think what's happening is that target is increasing by that amount each month. And so if you're turning over your full roster of 30, then you're going to tread water, right? But here's the problem, I think. This is the problem that I have. Most of us don't do that. I mean, that's 30 players. If you do it, respect. We don't shame around here. But most of us don't do that. And so each month, as you replace players, the players that remain on your roster from 1 field pass back, from 2 field passes back, right? Like center, 2 field passes ago, 2 field passes ago. We got a bunch of players on here from last field pass. McDaniel, as from 3 field passes ago. Those players are getting worse because the overall is jumping more. So whereas the difference between a current player and like say 3 field passes ago now is 30, but like a month ago or 2 months ago, that difference might have only been like 15 or 20. 3 players free to play, 2 foils and a marvel each field pass, and that's it. And now, bud, like on top of that, like now they've tossed in 2 marvels, right? And so again, the expectation is you hit all those. And I feel like that that increase is what's driving how these end up. Where's it at? How these end up getting set, right? Like, it ends up driving what this number ends up having to be right here. But for those of us that don't turn over a roster every month, you're losing ground every month. And so while this number may make sense for people that get 30 new cards every month, for the rest of us, it doesn't make as much sense. And so I think, like, for me, that's why it feels like I'm sort of losing ground. And so, you know, I've hit it, but like I said, 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, like, I hit it within the first few days of the field pass. And now, like, this thing is getting ready to go away in, what, 2.5 days? What's the timer on that one? Yeah, 2.5 days, 60 hours left. And, you know, I've had to go and sort of take such extreme positions as going to 12% for the last week on the boost. I've never had to do that. I've never run 12%. But I've had to now in order to hit it. And so it becomes me asking the question of what more do I have to do is my concern. What more do I have to do to get it next month, right? That's my concern. What else is there to do in this game besides LvL? I mean, I don't think that's an unfair position, honestly, Litany, right? And we've talked about that here. Like, that... Like, let's go back and look at why I started the stream almost 3 years ago, right? It was to sort of try and fill that sort of competitive gap that was in there. I remember watching the Hey Steve Dave streams from, like, season 4, where he would, like, play... There it was head-to-head. People would spin, and it wasn't the same as it is now. But there was nothing there, and we were heading into it. We were in a pandemic at that point. It was April of 2020, right? It was April of 2020. When I decided to do it, it was like February 2020. It took me a while to get geared up, but I was like, we need to find stuff to do as a community. Hey, Tigo gifts one out to Trapstar. I thought we couldn't gift one out. Did Trapstars expire like in the last like 10 minutes? Trapstars must have expired like in the last 10 minutes. Straws in the chat for Tigo. Poor Ryan was trying to gift one out like not just like 30 minutes ago and couldn't get it. And it bumps him from the 6 to the 9. I try. You absolutely did. Your Prime sub. Dustin, if you're here, can you work with RS on getting the Prime sub squared away? Dustin's our Prime sub expert. You went to 13% and still fell short. Oof. See, ease up. That's why I roughed out the math like a week ago to see where I could get. What are you going to use 10K when you have all the foiled Marvel team? Worth the resources to TP weights? I mean, yeah, once either that or just sit on it. Girl dad in with a bit. Straws in the chat. I mean, the way they've set it up is that anything above 10% is the marginal cost for each additional percentage above 10% is much higher. For each one, like the marginal cost goes up just for plus 1% all the way up to 15. So yeah, I mean, in theory, you can just completely like open up the wallet if you want to get up to 15 and run that consistently. You'll be playing unboosted for the next month, and I think that's what I'm not going to go unboosted. Ease up. I think Freddie would probably boot me from the league if I did that, but that's where I'm at. Like, I'm going to go back to 10% when these are up, run 10%, run nothing on special teams, and then just sort of pocket that for the last week to get to 13 or something else. if I have to, 12 if I don't have to, but I'm not optimistic that I'm going to be able to maintain hitting the 10K, the final milestone, with my current process at this point. Did I save when you dropped to E1? No, because my stuff got screwed up, and that's only happened. We've been out of Hall of Fame twice this entire season. Big Lotto. We've been out of Hall of Fame only twice the entire season. Like I feel like we've done a really good job as a league. But no, the way my boosts are staggered, like they hit like in the middle of the season, and so like I didn't want to have one of the 2 weeks have basically no boosts. You have 65k weights waiting to boost tomorrow. See, that's where I am. I mean, close. Because I just dropped a bunch. Where am I at? I'm at 42 now, right? But like the upside to Hall of Fame is like you get access to some really cool stuff in the store too, that really sort of helps maintain a lot of those things, right? You get this one at 400. You get this at 400. You get this at only 200. And so you've got options. Every day it resets. You had to cancel your boosts early? Oh, I would never cancel my boosts early. Yeah, and that's just it, Air Force. And it feels like, too, honestly, Air Force, it feels like that 10% is exceptionally punitive. Like I should have looked at it. I should have looked at it too. You know what? Chat? Oh, I already put him in. We can't. Oh, we can't do it. Does anybody know how these boosts end up being applied? Do we know how these boosts end up being applied? Because it's just plus overall. But do we know how they get that plus overall? No. I know that solutions, but like, so, nope. Time out. I know they get applied off the base overall, not the trained overall. Here's my question. And it goes back to a bigger theory that I've had. With everything and how things are set up and how overalls get adjusted. So, on Lamar, if I wanted to raise his overall 10%, I could do that. Golf My Lawn gets it exactly. I could do that by like taking his speed and making it like 290 or something ridiculous, right? And so if I am getting that percentage, that 10%, by only boosting a few key stats, then that player, when boosted, if they're boosted 10%, let's say, is going to feel much better than just 10% better, because they're getting boosts to key attributes, right? Because they're getting boosts to key attributes. And so remind me, chat, like next week probably, because we just did like special teams or something. Remind me next Sunday to look at how those things go up. And so a team that's playing with no boost not only is not only going to feel 10% worse, but actually I would think feel more than 10% worse. Would feel a lot worse. A lot worse. So you almost have to boost. Dang, JJ. Hope you feel better, bro. Level 10 high. This was an outlier, Deuce. This was an outlier. Like, I was looking at keeping Lamar for a really long time, and it's panned out that way. John the Caveman asks a question. Quote, why do my players feel like they are moving in quicksand if your overall and player are better and higher than the opponents? All right, John. John asked the question. So I will tell you, I don't know. But it ties into that conversation. And so I will tell you what I think. What my opinion is, okay? Like, wait. Okay. I turn this off because, like, this is, like, pure speculation, okay? This is pure speculation, and we've talked about it before. And I have shared that I share your concern, okay? So here's what I think is happening. Here's what I think is happening, John. In Hall of Fame, and I will limit this conversation to Hall of Fame, Hydro from the grave. Thank you, Hydro. Stars in the chat. I appreciate you. So, this is what I personally speculate is happening. So, in Hall of Fame, where the difficulty gets cranked all the way up, right? We've heard it been said that the lower overalls will get maybe more of a bump to make it competitive, right? And that was also clarified that that bump would not be more to make those players better than the higher overall players. And I fully believe that's 100% accurate. Fully believe that's 100% accurate. But it goes back into this question on boosts and how they get applied. If I have a Lamar, for example, that is 170 overall, but then I boost the overall up to like one random numbers, 10%, right? So that's 17. That puts him up to what, 184? No, 187? 187? Okay. But let's say I boost that player by boosting specific stats that make that player play better than 184, right? And I don't know how the Hall of Fame stuff works. I don't know how that's adjusted. Next Sunday, we'll look at how these stats on these boosts are adjusted. But let's say that happens and that bumping gets applied in such a way that player ends up being much better than the overall. What you would end up with is a situation where that player plays better than the player with a higher overall. They will have a lower overall, but they actually play better. Hydro gifts one out again to Trunk Zateet. I don't know if that's right. Straws in the chat for Hydro. And Tigo gifts out 10 of them. D-Wee Block, Panther, Woozy picks one up. Duck, Rafter John, Wayne. I don't know if I did that right. Waynel. Wow, that feels like that's going to go bad. Gremlin, D-Stuffing, Michael Jones, and Ditto Sounds. Straws in the chat. Tigo coming in big with 10 of them. So anyhow, to whoever, I think it was John asked the question originally. I share your perspective on that. And I would randomly speculate that is what is happening. That the boosts, or whatever the bumping is getting applied in a manner that makes those cards play better than what the overall would suggest. They are probably getting, I would guess they would be getting applied to stats that translate to gameplay a lot better. So the card, I would think, would have a much lower overall. Hydro gifts one out to Icy Ot. Straws in the chat for Hydro. Thank you, Hydro. I appreciate you, brother. Tigo gifts one out to Ease Up. Thank you, Tigo. You doubt it's straight across the board for boosts. I think that's right. I think it probably I think it gets applied golf probably to certain stats, right? And we saw this. We saw this years ago. It was season 4. Young Bucks subbed up with Prime. Tigo gives one out to Deuce. Stars in the chat for Young Bucks and for Tigo. And it's a good reminder too, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub to anybody on Twitch. Young Bucks has used it on me. Any questions on how to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account? Hit up Games with Dustin. Hydro gifts one out now to Melvin Emo. Straws in the chat again for Hydro. Ryan says he's boosted teams to 14% across the board 3 times down. Your defense gets more stops. Your offense blocks and run noticeably better than when you boost only a 10. 14 from 10 is huge though, Ryan, right? It's huge though. And so it feels like there's like a sweet spot of like 5 to like 10% advantage over somebody where it really seems to hit. And then like after that, like the team is just noticeably better. Like if you're at like 11, 12, 15% advantage, like your team is like noticeably better. But I would also say that this discussion I feel like is limited primarily to Hall of Fame. And so to the extent you're playing in one of the other tiers, you know, that may not be as pronounced because in Hall of Fame, everything gets sort of ratcheted up in the name of sort of competitiveness. And so, you know, this may be a Hall of Fame only thing too. Stars ready to go. Is there a way to see how many people in your stream? I don't think there are, Tigo. I think what happens is if you gift out community subs, they hit everybody that's here, and then they will randomly select people that aren't here. I think is how it works. I don't know. Otherwise, what you end up having to do is just look in the chat and see like who doesn't have a sub badge on it. So like 12 Doggy Style does not have one. AC Green 702 doesn't have one. I think that's the best way. Other than just, I think the gifting sub hits people that are here. Oh, your team is better at 10% than it is at 14%? Like, I'm not telling you I know what the answer is. I'm not telling you that that's even what's happening. I'm just telling you, I see a lot of you talking about that. And my experience has been consistent with what you're telling me your experience. Holy shit! God dang. It doesn't happen much for a guy that talks for a living. I speechless. Thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I was very not expecting to see that. Oh, let's just go ahead. Let's toss on the VIP onto Tigo right there. There you go, Tigo. That got most of them. I went ahead and hit it. Next time you talk, you should see a fancy little diamond up on the stream. There it is. I appreciate you, brother. All right, I've talked a bunch about it. We got viewers here that are waiting, so you know what? Let's head on over. Tigo, tell me what track you want to do when we get there.